Well, who doesn't want to dominate when it comes to their career? Women, though, often face some unique challenges in the workplace. But if you're looking to be a girl boss, there are some simple things you could be doing to help shatter that glass ceiling. Stephanie Chung is a sales and leadership expert. She's also the author of a book called Profit Like a Girl, and she's joining us to help us all dominate in our career and lives. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I love your blazer. You're just screaming domination in girl form today.
Go girl.
Now, this is so cool. So you worked in the private jet industry for years and kind of learned to dominate there. Tell us how you got into that.
Well, it's interesting because I was a military brat. So my dad was in the U.S. Air Force, and so I literally grew up around planes my whole life. So I knew that I wanted to do something in aviation. Started off slugging bags at the American Airlines ticket counter, and then broke my first glass ceiling and got into sales, and then was recruited into private aviation from there. So that's where I led a team, high-performing team, and we sold well over $1 billion each and every year.
Girl, you was getting that money.
Getting the money, girl. Gotta go.
And with that, as we were talking earlier, everybody goes, "Oh, it looks like you're dominating, so everything's perfect." And you're going, "No, we all could use help." What were some of those mistakes you felt like you were making?
Well, some of the mistakes. The very first one is, and I work with women all the time on this as they're trying to go through that glass ceiling. The first thing is you got to figure out, are you in fact promotable, right? Just because you want a promotion doesn't mean that you're promotable. So you need to make sure that your work is excellent, that it's on time, that you're on time. Hello, right?
Right. Yeah, you can't be late.
Can't be late. And so that's the first thing. And then the other thing is you have to be really clear on what your goals are. You can't have ambiguous goals. And I talk about this a lot in Profit Like a Girl, which of course your people can download for free at profitlikeagirl.com.
There you go.
But ambiguous goals, besides the money, why do you want the promotion, right? Which promotion do you want? When do you want it by? Why do you want it?
Okay.
You've got to be clear on those kind of things.
What do you do when you're not so clear? What if you're going, I don't really know what my next step should be?
Well, you know what? If you don't know, then don't make that first step. You really do have to get clear, and no one can make that decision for you. Now, certainly you can ask advice from a trusted advisor or your boss, right? Because all of us have those blind spots. So you need to know what is it that you are lacking that in fact is actually preventing you from being promotable. So you do need to seek out some help and get some understanding on that.
Gotcha. And were you aware of this when you were in the moment kind of fighting, breaking through some of those glass ceilings? Do you feel like you were thinking to yourself, I'm a woman and my journey is different from a man?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think that most women probably deep down in its core, because remember, I came from a male-dominated industry, so it was clear that I was
no
a woman.
mistake.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to have to dominate some stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for it, because those are the kind of things that you learn. One of the tips I always tell ladies is you're going through that glass ceiling, you got to suck it up, cupcake.
Yeah.
Right? This stuff is hard, and you got to put your big girl pants on in order to climb that ladder and shatter that glass.
So that means no crying at work.
No crying, no whining, right? No excuse, just produce. You got to get it done.
All right, well then let's get some of those tips, because we want people to go home with some concrete advice that you have from the book, and let's start with some of those.
Okay.
We're going to pull up some full screens here, and we'll just go through these. You said to be specific on your goals, and that's what you were saying about not being ambiguous if you want a promotion or something like that.
Correct.
And then owning your mistakes. How do you do this in a classy way when you have really messed up?
When you've messed up, you need to own it. The very first thing you need to do is actually apologize if in fact, it was just something you didn't realize. And then of course, once you apologize, then you move on. Don't let that define you. We all make mistakes, right?
All right, then we're choosing a cheerleader. Who do you pick to be your cheerleader?
Someone that has your best interest in mind. So whoever is your trusted confidant, sometimes it's your boss, sometimes it's just another superior, but whoever it is that really has your best interest in mind, you go ahead and you ask them for honest, authentic feedback, again, about where it is that you have some blind spots, because we all do.
And was that cheerleader always easy to find? Because sometimes you find in the workplace you end up confiding in someone too much, and then you go, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have gone this far in the workplace.
Well, that actually brings up another point, because sometimes in the workplace you're going to have bullies.
Yeah.
Right? Business bullies is what I call them. So you need to be able to confront those bullies as well. Yes, cheerleaders, sometimes hopefully you have enough gut instinct to know who's on your side and who's not, but sometimes you may make that mistake, and some of those political lessons that you have to learn weaving throughout the corporate arena is, hard knocks, but you learn them nevertheless.
All right, and we're looking for the feedback, the negative feedback as well as the positive feedback.
You have to pursue negative feedback. We all have something that we need to grow on, but none of us want to hear bad stuff about ourselves, right?
But we need to.
Well, we need to. In order to climb up, you really need to know, again, where is it that you're somewhat exposed? So go and pursue that with a passion. Like, you really do need to understand where it is that you're exposed.
I love this. This is all great advice. All right, we've got one more screen of tips for you so everybody can go home, get their notebooks out and jot these down. You say be humble.
Yes. Be humble, but throw humility out the window. And you know, here's why that's important. Because a lot of women were brought up to be seen and not heard. But that doesn't work when you're trying to shatter that glass ceiling. So don't fall into the trap of letting your work speak for itself. You speak for yourself.
That's so interesting, because you often hear women say, I want to be confident and not cocky. How do you find that balance?
There is a balance, but you know what? If you're really good at what you do, see, men don't have this problem as much as we struggle with this. Right?
Yeah.
We struggle with this.
Right.
Yeah. You really have to make sure that you're okay with understanding you're good, and whatever it is that you're good at, be okay with actually, you know, being your biggest cheerleader, your biggest fan. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, well, we love your tips. Thanks for reaching out to the other ladies to help us. To download a free copy of Stephanie's ebook, you guys can head to profitlikeagirl.com. Well, don't go far. We are closing out the show with another great song from Karen Green.